A man, using binoculars, spied on a beautiful woman. His wife approached. The man lowered the binoculars and struck up a conversation with her. His wife had just left when the man went into the forest to search. He spotted a pair of beautiful legs. The woman was completely naked, leaning against a rock. He suppressed his excitement and approached. He was terrified and fled in panic. He saw a hand holding scissors. Her head was wrapped in bandages. The man was terrified again. Soon he found a house. He grabbed a walkie-talkie and called for help. The person on the other end told him to leave immediately and find him in the laboratory behind the mountain. The man ran frantically in the darkness. Finally, he arrived at the laboratory. He pointed to a water tank in front of him and said, "If we hide here, the bandage killer definitely won't find us." At that moment, the killer appeared. He quickly jumped into the water tank and called for the bearded man to hide as well. But the killer seemed not to hear him. The man realized he had been tricked. He struggled to climb out of the water tank. What's even stranger is that the bearded man seemed not to recognize him at all and questioned him about trespassing on his territory. The man was furious. But even stranger, when he looked through binoculars at a man next to his wife, who looked exactly like him. The two were terrified and knelt on the ground. The bearded man told the man the sink was a time machine. The man traveled forward several hours, becoming number 2 on another timeline. The bearded man said he could help him lure number 1 into the time machine. The man hurriedly drove home and saw a woman who looked familiar on the way. But suddenly he was rear-ended. The injured man was covered in blood. He bandaged his wounds. That's right, the bandage killer was himself. At this moment, the beautiful woman ran over to check on his injuries. The man realized he had to use the woman to seduce number 1. Sure enough, number 1 was looking around with binoculars. He forced the woman to stand within number 1's line of sight and then slowly pulled up his clothes. The beautiful woman pulled up her clothes. The man observed number 1 through binoculars. He demanded the woman take off her pants. The woman had no choice but to comply. The woman took the opportunity to move closer to him. She kicked him. He hurriedly chased after her. The two fell down the hillside. The woman also fainted. The man carried her to the rocks. He took off his clothes. He quietly hid nearby. Sure enough, number 1 was lured over. The man came up behind her and attacked. If nothing unexpected happened, number 1 would be tricked into the time machine and disappear completely. At this moment, he realized the woman was gone. The man rushed home. He saw 2 feet on the roof. He grabbed them tightly, but this caused him to fall. Oh no, this could have been fatal. The man looked down at the ground. He covered his mouth in shock. It was his wife. The man was devastated. He wanted to enter the time machine again to change the past, to save his wife, but the bearded man confessed to him before he climbed out of the time machine and became number 2. A number 3 had already appeared. He threatened to stop him from traveling through time again, but then, a piercing police siren blared. They had no way out. The man entered the time machine again and became number 3. He told the bearded man to start the machine. Now, number 2 is climbing out. Seeing number 2 drive away, the man secretly followed. He wanted to run over number 2 to prevent him from killing his wife, but he almost killed himself. He had no choice but to take out the walkie-talkie and tell the bearded man that he had failed. A beautiful woman led a man into the house, but this was the man's home, and his wife was there too. Seeing the man, the wife was startled and told her husband that a bandaged man had broken in, but the man noticed his wife was wearing a black shirt and remembered that before he time traveled, his wife's corpse was wearing a red coat. The man finally understood. It wasn't his wife who had fallen to her death, but number 2 had arrived. To deceive him, someone had to die today. The man told his wife to hide in the storage room and not to come out no matter what noise she heard. Then he found the beautiful woman, put her wife's coat on, and cut her hair short. The man gave the woman these instructions. Wait a moment, at my command, you immediately run upstairs and secretly observe the window. At the man's command, the beautiful woman immediately ran upstairs. He walked out of the house, opened the storage room, pulled his wife out, and made her sit in a chair, then sat down beside her. At that moment, a commotion arose in his ears, followed by a woman's scream. Don't panic. She seemed to understand something, but dared not say anything. The man pulled out the scissors and threw them behind him. The beautiful woman's body lay on the ground. A car sped away. The driver was number 2. He was now heading to the laboratory to continue the next cycle. This is a multi-purpose washing machine. It can grant any wish. The man just said he wanted beer, and sure enough, beer appeared. The man took it out. He opened the lid. He took a sip. It was real. That night, the man learned that his father was sick and hospitalized. He urgently needed 300,000 yuan for surgery, so he went to the washing machine again to make a wish. But this time, nothing happened. Disappointed, the man prepared to leave. He hurriedly opened the washing machine. Sure enough, the 300,000 yuan was there, not a penny less. The man was about to leave when he kicked an aluminum can. Just as he was about to pick it up, it disappeared. The cleaning lady nearby told him that anything the washing machine conjured would automatically disappear after one day. The man hurriedly wired money to his mother. That evening, he returned to the laundromat, conjured a suit, and went for job interviews, but was rejected by all of them. The man was very disappointed. Looking at the postcards his friends sent, he couldn't help but feel envious and wanted to get married. But soon, evil thoughts began to creep into his mind. The next morning, the man returned to the laundromat, looking around and seeing no one, finally mustered up his courage and wished for a super beautiful woman to be his girlfriend. A hand emerged from the washing machine, and then a long-legged beauty crawled out. The man was stunned. He reached out to hug her waist but was knocked to the ground. The man just wanted a wife, so he made another wish to the washing machine, saying, "I just want a good girl, preferably one who listens to everything I say." Soon the washing machine door opened, and another woman crawled out. She looked obedient and cute, happily agreeing to whatever the man asked. The man took her shopping, and bought her a beautiful dress, and then took her home. They drank beer and chatted. The man wanted to use palm reading to win her over. Just as the man was about to take things further, he suddenly sensed something was wrong. When he opened his eyes again, the woman was gone. All that remained was the dress he had bought for her. Anything that comes out of the washing machine only lasts for 24 hours. But honestly, changing girlfriends every day, isn't that great? The man was thrilled. He got a new girlfriend every day. There were elegant and intellectual goddesses, mature and poised older women, and virtuous and considerate girls next door. He transformed from a timid, introverted guy into a spendthrift tycoon. But at that moment, he didn't notice. A girl was secretly observing him from not far away. A man was on a date with his girlfriend. He put a diamond ring on her finger, but suddenly the ring fell to the ground. His girlfriend was nowhere to be seen. The man went to the washing machine. This time he was going to try a different woman. Sure enough, when the washing machine was opened, a mature, voluptuous woman appeared before him. But while the man was captivated by her beauty, a girl was secretly observing him. While the man was out making a phone call, the girl entered the laundromat and warned the woman. It turned out she had been the man's girlfriend, but had seen him spending all his time with different women, and assumed this woman had seduced him, and tried to steal the diamond ring he had given her. But the woman pushed her down, and she left. The girl began to cry. She remembered the man from before, so mature and steady, but now he had lost himself. She looked at the washing machine and said, "Come back soon." The man woke up from the darkness, sensed something was wrong, and then climbed out of the washing machine. It turned out that the girl's words had triggered the washing machine's magic, giving the man a new life. But anything the washing machine conjured could only last for one day. The man would also completely disappear from this world within 24 hours. The story ends here. So, if you were this man, what would you do with your remaining day? Every time a fresh corpse was brought in, the man would loot all the burial goods. The next moment, he was stopped by gangsters demanding payment. To pay off his debt quickly, he posted the gold bracelet online to find a buyer. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. The man looked through the peephole but saw no one. But as soon as he turned around, the doorbell rang again. He found the hallway covered in cursed writings. The man opened the door, but the writings disappeared. At this moment, the man noticed a scar suddenly appearing on his wrist, which he couldn't wipe away no matter what he did. Then his phone rang. He realized it was all an illusion. He then answered the phone and arranged a time and place with the buyer. The next day, the man arrived early, but the other party was nowhere to be seen. At this moment, a police car passed by. When he got closer, he saw a man crushed to death by a falling floor slab on the street. There was a mobile phone next to him. The man tried to call the buyer's number, but the phone on the ground started ringing. He was so frightened that he quickly left the scene. Luckily, he was not seriously injured. The police asked about the origin of the bracelet. The man dared not admit it was his. He then returned home on crutches. At this point, he no longer dared to pry open coffins. Strangely, the gold bracelet appeared on the table. Suddenly, a ghostly figure floated by. At this moment, the gangsters came again to collect the debt. The man was so frightened that he climbed out of the window. Meanwhile, the gold bracelet disappeared. The next moment, the female ghost transformed into mist and followed him. He was terrified and didn't know what to do. The next day, the man was stopped by the gangsters again on his way to work. His boss came over and fired him on the spot. So he went to a casino, borrowed high-interest loans, and gambled. Unexpectedly, he won hundreds of thousands. This money was enough to pay off his debts, but greed blinded him, so he continued gambling. This time, the man lost everything. He was somewhat disoriented from the loss. To avoid debt collectors, he had to stay in a hotel. At this point, the man had started talking to himself. Then he took out a gas cylinder, connected the gas pipe, put on a plastic bag, and turned on the gas valve. The man ended his sinful life in this way.